Welcome, and thank you so much for taking a look at the Joyner Off-Center Jig. It's a great little jig for doing pendants, bottle stoppers, just small off-center stuff. Let me get the camera moved over and we will take a look at the components that come with them, and I'll show you how to get it set up. All right, here's everything that comes with the jig. You either get an 1¼ mandrel, a 1x8 mandrel, or an A mandrel with a number 2 Morris taper. You pick whichever one is right for your lathe. And these mandrels are a little bit different than the bottle stopper mandrels. They don't have a flute cut in it because the plates are aluminum and you don't want to accidentally cross thread them. So they're just threaded. It doesn't have the flute cut in it. So you pick whichever one you need. It comes with an offset plate. This has 10 holes in it, an indexing plate, 3 buttons. These are for pendants and earrings. 4 of the small or the larger screws. These screws hold the 2 plates together, and I'll show you how that all hooks up here in a second. Comes with 4 wood screws, 2 thick washers, and 1 bolt. And I'll show you what all of those little parts do here in a second. But let me go ahead and move the camera. I'll get it set up on the lathe. If you do pick the Morris taper mandrel, you can get a drawbar with that to hold it in the lathe if you want to, either a 10-inch or a 15-inch. So, and then that locks it right onto the lathe. Let me move the camera and we'll get this whole thing put together. All right, first thing you want to do is put your mandrel on. So I have an 1¼ lathe. I'm going to use this one. I could also, with an 1¼ or any other lathe, I could use the number 2 Morris taper and just slide it in. So that's on there. This is the offset plate. So it has 10 different holes. We're just going to go ahead and set it up on the center hole for right now. Make sure you don't cross thread it, and it locks on there just like that. So depending on what you're doing, whether you're doing bottle stoppers or pendants, that is where the washers come in. So the pendant, if you want to put it in the center hole and put the mandrel in the center hole, I will show you here real quick. Back that off and screw it on there. It will not thread on all the way. It stops right there. So you have to put these 2 washers on the mandrel first. So I'll show you how to do that real quick. Put those on there just like that, and then you can thread your buttons on. So these can be moved into any position. The mandrel can be moved into any one of these 10 holes, and the buttons can be moved into any one of these 10 holes to get different cuts. So it's just pretty much endless. You can move the button around on the front or the mandrel around on the back to create different things. You can spin it out there. So, and then move your button, because that actually lined it right back up. And move it to a different position, just like that. And it will create different patterns as you cut. All right, let's go ahead and on all of the buttons, they're all the same. Or they're not all the same. They're all different sizes, but they all thread in the same way. So they all screw right into here. And this one is for small things like earrings. They all thread in there. They're all the same thread, and you can move them around any position you want. All right. Let's pull this off here for a second, and I'll show you how to get put the indexing plate on. So same thing with this. If you're doing like bottle stoppers, you can move it around to any one of the holes, but this plate here, the indexing plate, locks onto there like so. So that is what this bolt right here is for. It's tapered, so this bolt goes into the center of it there and still sits smooth. Let me grab mine real quick. All right, this one is mine. So the wood screws are right here. You have 4 of those, and that is to put your indexing plate onto a waste block. So you want to do a waste block and turn bottle stoppers. This bolt right here comes through there You put your little waste block on it, drill a hole down in the center, and this will stick out. That bolt is 3/8/16. You can thread your bottle stopper right onto it. And this is all locked together like that. Screw it on here, move it around to any hole you want. These little black ones right here, those go in there and lock the whole thing together, just like that. So they go in there like that. There's 4 of them. You can move them around to anything you want, any position you want. I'll just put a couple in here real quick. So when you have your mandrel on there, you can move this around and put it in any one of the 10 holes. And then if you want to do something, you have your lathe spinning, it's going to create a pattern with it. If you want to change that pattern, you simply unscrew these and create a different pattern. You unscrew it, you can move this around to any position on here. So you can just spin that, put it, line it right back up, and it will create a different cut. So you can just keep the pattern options are pretty much endless. And we have downloadables right above this video are clickable links to download how to do setups, pendant patterns, bottle stoppers. They're downloadable links. You can print them off if you want to, and they're very helpful just trying to figure out different patterns that you like. But this bolt right here it goes through the waste block. So those are the four wood screws. You screw that on there first. It's let me just kind of show you real quick. Just like so. This is my plate. It doesn't matter. They're all the same threads. And then, like for this one, I do pendants with it. You don't actually need the buttons for all the different types of pendants. If you wanted to just do it like a larger pendant, you can put a waste block on there. I have that dished out just a little bit. And again, I can move this to any position on here. If I want to unscrew it and put it on, move the holes on the back side, I can just move it over to a different one, and then I can still go ahead and create a cut with that position right there. And then if I want to change the cut a little bit, I can rotate this around. So it's pretty versatile as far as different things you can do with it. The patterns are pretty much endless. But to be honest with you, and I was talking to Ruth about this too, she said that she found 5 or 6 patterns that she liked, and she wrote them down on the wall. So when you're doing it, if there's a pattern you like, let's say it's number 3 and number 7, you just write that down, and you can recreate 3 and 7, that pattern all day long, and it will create the same cuts. So if you pick a few that you really like, you just write them down, somewhere close to the lathe, and you'll be able to just recreate it every single time. But it's as far as patterns, it's pretty much endless what you can create. And like I said, there's some detailed instructions just above this video where you can go on and see exactly different things that other people have done. It shows you how it talks about, just setup and everything. All right, let me get the camera moved back over here real quick. I hope that helped and answered any questions you might have. If you do have any more questions, my phone number is on every page of the website. Don't hesitate to call. All right, take care.